Good evening everyone. Welcome to pathology and microbiology classes of NIH. Today we are going to discuss about the liver cirrhosis, one of the very common liver disorders in this world. So liver cirrhosis is nothing but end stage of the liver damage. Today class we are going to discuss about the definition of cirrhosis and normal hepatic structure, types of the cirrhosis, pathogenesis of the cirrhosis, and how to diagnose the cirrhotic patients, and end up with the top 3 questions. So let us discuss one by one. So before discussing definition, we will go for the word meaning, that is etymology. Cirrhosis, taken from the Greek word, the word meaning is yellowish brown color. So that means the simple word, the liver become yellowish brown in color. So what if it is the liver will become yellowish brown in color in cirrhotic, what is the normal color of the liver? So the normal color of the liver, it is the reddish brown. So here you can see it is a normal color, that is a reddish brown, and here you can see the yellowish brown. So this is the word meaning of the liver cirrhosis. So let's discuss about the definitions. It is a progressive diffuse fibrotic disease of the hepatic parenchyma. It have 4 characteristics. First characteristic, it involves the entire liver. The normal lobular architecture of hepatic parenchyma is disorganized. There is the formation of regenerative nodule separated from one another by irregular band of fibrosis, alternative area of necrosis and regenerative damage. So the definition wise, the liver cirrhosis having the 4 characteristic points. It occur into the entire liver and the disorganized lobular architecture, formation of the regenerative nodules and alternative necrosis and regenerative nodules. So by short we can able to understand cirrhosis means presence of fibrosis in the liver. You can see here it is a white line, it is nothing but it is a fibrosis, and presence of regenerative nodule. So this is the yellowish, this small one, this is the regenerative nodule, and disorganized lobular architecture of the hepatic parenchyma. So in short, cirrhosis is nothing but these 3 characteristics: fibrosis, regenerative nodules and disorganized lobular architecture of the hepatic parenchyma. So let us study about the what is the normal lobular architecture. If you know the normal lobular architecture, then it is very easy to define the disorganized lobular architecture. So let us study about the normal lobular architectures. So this is the liver. So liver is divided by the falciform ligament by right lobe and left lobe. So each right lobe and left lobe consist of millions of the lobules. So this is the one lobules, this is the millions of the lobules. Each lobe consists of many lobes. That lobe name we are calling as the hexagonal lobules. You know what is the word meaning of hexagonal? That is the 6 point. So here it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 point will be there. So let us study the lobules in details. So hexagonal lobules, the hexagonal lobules, all hexagonal lobules, center point is the central vein, presence of central vein. So in the point hexagonal lobules, in the 6, there is a 6 one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So 6 end we have 3 presence of the 3 structure. So each structure is known as the, this is the portal vein and hepatic artery and bile duct. So each end of the 6th end, the presence of the portal vein, hepatic artery and bile duct. So this unit of bile duct, hepatic artery and hepatic vein, we are known as the portal triad. Then here there is a one more structure, is a sinusoid space, means small irregular shaped blood vessels where the portal and hepatic blood are flow into the central vein. Simple thing is, where I have written it is a 1. So here you know it is a hepatic vein, portal vein and hepatic artery. Both will be, the blood supply goes from periphery to the central vein. So this is this space is known as the sinusoidal space. Second, the hepatocytes are present between the sinusoidal space. You can see the there are 6-1 will be present, and in between the sinusoidal space, the presence of the hepatocytes. And the next very important for the class, that is a perisinusoidal space, that is otherwise known as the space of Deci, is present between the hepatocytes and sinusoidal space. So you can see there is a one, it is the sinusoidal space, and hepatocyte is the second. Between the sinusoidal and hepatocytes, the presence of the small space, it is where I have written the 2. So this space is known as the perisinusoidal space. So now we can see the 3 type of the liver cell which is present. There is a hepatocytes, Kupffer cells, and stellate cells, or otherwise known as the Ito cells. So as we know, the hepatocyte is a functional unit of the liver, and Kupffer cell is nothing but monocytic phagocytic cells present in the sinusoidal space, which are responsible for the hepatic inflammation. And the last one, it is a stellate cell present in the space of the Deci. It stores the vitamin A and produce the collagen fiber, which are responsible for the cirrhosis of the liver. So the stellate cell is very important. So the Kupffer cell is very important for the inflammation. Stellate cell is very important for the stellate cell is very important for the production of the scar mark or granulation tissue. When the chronic inflammation, so this stellate cell will activate, that produce the collagen fibers, so that leads to fibrosis. So that is this is responsible for the cirrhosis of the liver. So in one word, which cells is responsible for the liver cirrhosis is the stellate cells and Ito cells. So we'll study about the normal collagen which is present into the liver. Type 1 and type 3 collagens are present into the portal triad and central vein. As we know, this is the hexagonal lobules. So in hexagonal lobules, there is a 6 point. So the type 1 and type 3 collagens normally will present into the portal triad. As we know, this is the portal triad. So will present here as well as into the around the central vein. This is the normal which we are talking. And the normally type 4 collagen fiber present into the space of Deci. So this is second, where I have written in the second point. So this is the space of Deci, or otherwise known as the perisinusoidal space. So type 4 collagen fiber which is present normally, which is present into the space of Deci. So now we'll see about the type of cirrhosis. So type of cirrhosis, for our understanding, we are dividing into the morphological type as well as into the etiological type. So morphological type is 3. One is a micronodular, macronodular, and mixed type. So micronodular means the nodule size is less than 3 mm. It is known as a micronodular cirrhosis. And where there is a macronodular means the nodule size is more than 3 mm. We are known as the macronodular, and mixed is a combination of micronodular and macronodular. And etiological type, based on the causes, it divided into alcoholic cirrhosis, post-nephrotic cirrhosis, biliary cirrhosis, cardiac cirrhosis, and other type of cirrhosis. Out of this is the alcoholic cirrhosis takes 90% of the liver cirrhosis in this world, and post-necrotic and biliary cirrhosis and cardiac cirrhosis are the other types. So let us discuss in the pathophysiology. It's a very simple understanding. There is a normal liver. When the normal liver go for the acute inflammation, example is virus, hepatitic virus, so leads to there is a hepatitis. So characteristic of hepatitis is the 3: necrosis and polymorphoneutrophil, that is a neutrophil infiltration, because acute inflammation, the neutrophil will come to the play, and fibrosis. So this is the characteristic of hepatitis: necrosis, fibrosis, and polymorphoneutrophil infiltration. So afterwards, what happened? The normal liver can go to some of the acquired causes like a smoking, alcohol, can leads to presence of the lipids accumulation into the liver. So that we are calling as a fatty liver. So fatty liver in definition, in otherwise it's known as the presence of hepatic steatosis and lipid droplets. These two, hepatitis and the fatty changes of liver, can produce to the hepatitis, and this hepatitis is goes to, if the long standing chronic inflammation, it goes to the cirrhosis of the liver. So that is the characteristic is of fibrosis and regenerative nodule. So this cirrhosis of the liver in end stage leads to the hepatocellular carcinoma. So this is the simple pathogenesis. The normal liver, this is the first hepatitis, the followed by cirrhosis, the end stage is the hepatocellular carcinoma. So now we'll discuss one by one. So in short, this is a normal liver. So normal liver, as we discussed, made up of the hexagonal lobules and presence of central vein and presence of portal triad. The portal triad is the combination of the bile duct, hepatic vein and portal vein and hepatic artery. So what happened in the cirrhosis of the liver? So cirrhosis of the liver is, you can see the lobular architecture is disorganized, presence of the necrosis, this is the part, presence of necrosis and presence of fibrosis, this is the line thread-like structure, presence of fibrosis and presence of the regenerative nodules. This is the pinkish color, this is a regenerative nodule. By simple understanding, the normal liver consists of the normal lobular architecture, where there is the cirrhosis of the liver is a disorganized lobular architecture. This is a simple understanding of the cirrhosis of the liver. Now we'll study about the pathogenesis. So any causes like alcohol, post-necrotic or cardiac, anything that leads to stimulation of the chemical mediator. The one of the very important chemical mediator is the tumor necrosing factor and interferon 1, interleukin 1, that leads to liver damage. So once it's a liver damage, so it produces the two pathway, activation of the Ito cells and activation of the Kupffer cells. So activation of the Kupffer cell is for subsiding the inflammation and activation of the Ito cells for the simple purpose of healing. Activation of the Kupffer cells leads to inflammation, so that leads to destruction of the hepatocytes, vascular endothelial cells and bile duct. So this will be, once the inflammation will be subsided, then healing process will be starts. So healing process by the two method. The healing method is by the production of the regenerative nodules, and if it is the hepatocytes are damaged, that leads to hepatic necrosis. So this will be the process of the healing. So in other hand, activation of the Ito cells, so the Ito cells will become change into the myofibroblast, so that synthesis of the deposition of the type 1 and type 3 collagen in the space of the disease. As we discussed, normally this type 1 and type 3 collagen normally will present into the portal triad and around to the central vein. So but what happened here in condition, these Ito cells synthesis and deposition of the type 1 and type 3 collagen in the space of disease, that leads to the liver fibrosis. So the liver fibrosis and regenerative nodule as well as hepatic necrosis, that leads to the abnormal liver architecture, so that we are calling as the cirrhosis of the liver. So this is a simple pathogenesis of the cirrhosis of the liver. So now we'll study about the one of the very common type of the liver cirrhosis, that is the alcoholic cirrhosis of the liver. So by definition, it characterized by inflammation and parenchymal necrosis of the liver, characterized by prolonged intake of alcohol. So this is nothing but inflammation and parenchymal necrosis of the liver by prolonged intake of alcohol, and it is also called Linac cirrhosis. As we know, 1 gram of ethanol has energy equivalent to production of the 7 kilocalories, one of the very important for the NEET examinations. So now we'll study about the stages of the alcoholic cirrhosis. As we know, it is a normal liver. So if the person is taking so much alcohol, the alcohol converted into the fatty acids that will accumulate into the liver in of hepatic steatosis and lipid droplet. So accumulation of these two substances is known as the fatty liver. So this is the first stage of alcoholic cirrhosis, and the next stage, when this fatty liver will become inflammation, so it will change into the alcoholic hepatitis. That means production of the leads to necrosis, fibrosis and polymorpho-neutrophil infiltration. So the alcoholic hepatitis is the second stage. The final stage will be the cirrhosis of the liver, formation of the fibrosis and regenerative nodules. So the stage of the alcoholic cirrhosis is very important for the diagnosis as well as for the management of the disease. Once the patient comes from the fatty liver and alcoholic hepatitis, these two stages are reversible. With our homeopathic medication, it possible to back to the normal liver. But what happens in the once it becomes the cirrhosis of the liver, the chances of the curability is less. So third stage is very less curability. So these are stages of the alcoholic cirrhosis. Now we'll study the simple questions will come. How much quantity is required for production of the cirrhosis of the liver? So in case of men, 30 gram of alcohol per day or 3 unit of alcohol per day for more than 5 to 10 years. But in case of women, more than 20 grams per day or more than 2 unit per day for more than 5 to 10 years. So here things to remember, here it is the amount. In men more than 30 grams, in women more than 20 grams for more than 5 to 10 years. In case of men and women can progress to the cirrhosis of alcoholic liver cirrhosis. So now we'll study about the simple pathogenesis of the alcoholic liver cirrhosis. So alcohol, as the person is drinking the alcohol, so it will convert it to the acetaldehyde with the help of enzyme known as the alcohol dehydrogenase. So this acetaldehyde converted it to the acetyl-CoA with the help of aldehyde dehydrogenase. So this acetyl-CoA goes to the Krebs cycle and produce the CO2 and H2O and fatty acids. So these fatty acids will be accumulated into the liver. So the person is taking alcohol, how much he is taking alcohol, that much fatty acids will be accumulated into the liver. So that if this fatty acid accumulated into the liver, that leads to the hepatic steatosis and lipid droplet. This is known as the fatty liver. So this is the first stage of the liver. When this fatty liver is always prone to get the inflammation. So once it is inflammation, the liver will become polymorpho-neutrophil infiltration, hepatic necrosis and hepatic fibrosis. So this is the three conditions. So that is nothing but hepatitis, alcoholic hepatitis. This is the second stage. So remember, this first stage and second stage are reversible if the patients are gradually reducing the alcohol with the medications. But this alcoholic hepatitis progress, if the person is taking still alcohol, then it leads to the fibrosis and regenerative nodule, that nothing but we are calling as the alcoholic liver cirrhosis. So this is a simple pathogenesis of the alcoholic liver cirrhosis. Now we'll study about the alcoholic liver cirrhosis morphology. As we know, macroscopic and microscopic. Macroscopic, the first stage, that is a fatty liver. Liver become enlarged, yellow and firm consistency. You can see why it is a yellow, because the presence of lipid droplets. And in second stage, that is hepatitis, liver is enlarged and yellowish brown in color. Still the color is maintained. And the third stage, it is known as the alcoholic cirrhosis. The liver is the shrinkage and tawny yellow color with diffuse nodulars and fibrous septum which is present. This comes under the macroscopic. And microscopic, as we studied, in fatty liver, presence of micro followed by macrovesicular droplets of the lipids and fat droplets also which is present. In case of alcoholic hepatitis, presence of inflammatory cell infiltration, ballooning degeneration, that is swelling of the hepatocyte is known as the ballooning degeneration, and hepatocellular necrosis and Maliary bodies, that means accumulation of the subcellular material present into the hepatocyte is known as the Maliary bodies, one of the very characteristic points in the hepatitis, alcoholic hepatitis and fibrosis. So this is the characteristic of alcoholic hepatitis. And alcoholic hepatitis, this is the end stage, presence of regenerative nodules, fibrous septa and disorganized lobular architecture. So this is the last stage of the alcoholic liver cirrhosis. So here you can see the cut surface shows about the, here you can see the white structure. This is the white structure. So this white structure is nothing but presence of the fibrous septum. This is the, you can see the scar. This is the scar. After the inflammation, the healing process, in the healing process, there is the presence of the fibrous tissue or the scar tissue. So this is the white, this is nothing but the fibrosis. You can see it here. There is a, this is the one lobules. This is the one lobules. So between the one lobules, this is the white, this is the one, is the presence of the, this is the one, presence of the fibrotic septum. This is the presence of fibrotic septum. Normally, which is a very minute, but here it is a very prominent. So histology, you can evidence shows that the fibrostic changes will be present into the lobular, leads to disorganized lobular architectures. So now we'll study about the signs and symptoms. So you can see about the fetor hepaticus. Fetor hepaticus means the bad smell or bad breath. The patient's cirrhotic patient present with the fetor hepaticus and esophageal bleeding, hepatosmegaly along with the jaundice. Here you can things to remember. Here it is the presence of the hepatocellular jaundice, and the patients with the presence of the ascites, accumulation of the fluid into the abdominal cavity, and loss of hair and loss of libido, and men present with the gynecomastia and testicular atrophy in the woman, complaints of amenorrhea, and some of the symptoms, constitution symptoms like anorexia, loss of appetite, fetor hepaticus, esophageal varices, spider nevi, and caput medusa, and some of the hemorrhageous spots like you can see the bruise and purpura you can see, and the end stage, the patient is one of the complication of the cirrhosis of the liver is the hepatic encephalopathy. So these are all the signs and symptoms which you can identify from the patients for the diagnosis of the disease. So you can see this is the spider nevi. So spider nevi is nothing but many small blood vessels are visible under the skin which form as the spider. You can see it is a skin. You can see the multiple small fibers which is present. So this small fibers you can see it is forms like a spider, so we are calling as a spider nevi. And another important clinical finding is the palmar erythema. Palmar erythema is nothing but reddish discoloration of the palm. Normally our palm will be like a yellowish, but here it is the total reddish discoloration of the palm. The next important sign is the caput medusa. What is caput medusa? Caput medusa is a dilated vein surrounding the umbilicus. You can think that it is the umbilical vein. So it is the umbilicus. In the umbilicus, there is you can see the tortured vein. You can see from all the part of the thing. So this is the tortured vein. You can see the dilated vein. You can see around the umbilicus. So this structure it is known as the caput medusa. So that's about the signs and symptoms. Let us see about the diagnosis. So first diagnosis we can come with the blood count. So patients will go for the anemia, leukopenia and neutropenia. Patient also suffer from thrombocytopenia and presence of many decreased coagulation factor, increased prothrombin time, decreased serum cholesterol and increased serum albumin. So this everything in the you can able to identify in the blood count, and you can go for the liver function test, can give you the very important clue that increased AST and alkaline phosphate and GGT enzyme and increased alpha-1 antitrypsin. This increased alpha-1 antitrypsins increased both in the hepatocellular carcinoma as well as into the liver cirrhosis of the liver, and with other point you can able to differentiate between the cirrhosis of the liver and hepatocellular carcinoma. And the next you can see the radiology is very important for the clinical diagnosis to assess the cirrhosis of the liver, which the patients comes to our clinic. So which stage the patients are suffering. So according to that the treatment plan will be changes. The golden standard treatment of the identification of the diagnosis of the liver cirrhosis is a liver biopsy to access the cellular changes and along with the lobular architectures. So you can in liver biopsy you can able to see the histopathology as we discussed in the previous one. So the entire abnormal lobular architecture we can able to identify, and you can able to identify the fibrosis and regenerative nodules. And is one of the complication is the ascites. You can able to identify the cell count and protein and bacterial count if it is present, can able to assess. And the next one it is the identification of the serum electrolytes. The most of the patients comes with the hypokalemia and hyponatremia. And other investigations like to differentiate the other diagnosis, serology, there is a hepatitis antigen antibody for the infective pathology. Any infective pathology, if you want to rule out, suppose the patient comes with the second stage, alcoholic hepatitis. So if it is whether it is alcoholic hepatitis or infective hepatitis, you can able to differentiate by the serology. And autoantibodies, that is the presence of antinuclear antibody, anti-mitochondrial antibody for immunological pathology. Suppose the patients come with the complaints of immunological hepatitis. So whether it is because of cirrhosis of the liver or immunological pathology, able to identify by detection of the autoantibodies, and detection of the ferritin and transferritin saturation for iron overload, for presence of whether it is a accumulation of the iron, because accumulation of the iron also can leads to the discolorations of the liver, and accumulation of the copper and ceruloplasmin for copper overload, identification of the copper overload. So this is other investigation and helps to differentiate with the other disorders in this liver. So that's about the diagnosis of the liver. Let us see the complications. There are so many complications. The number one complication is the portal hypertension, hepatic failure, hepatocellular carcinoma, chronic relapsing pancreatitis, gallstone, infections, coagulation disorders, cardiovascular disorders, mainly atherosclerosis and myocardial infarctions, musculoskeletal abnormalities. The patients come with maybe complaints with the clubbing or hypertrophic osteoarthropathy, renal failure, and the end stage is the patients go for the hepatic encephalopathy, leads to the hepatic coma. So these are some of the complications. So that's the end of the cirrhosis of the liver. So now we are going to study cirrhosis of summary. So it is a fibrotic disease of the hepatic parenchyma characterized by fibrosis, regenerative nodules, leads to disorganized lobular architecture, abnormal deposition of the type 1 and type 3 collagen in the space of DC. This is the very important for the MCQ. Accumulation of the type 1, type 3 collagen in the space of DC, which are the main pathophysiology of the cirrhosis of the liver due to tumor necrosing factor and interferon 1, interleukin 1, and platelet derived growth factor, myeloperoxidase enzyme, everything which leads to thing. Normally this type 1, type 3 which normally present into the portal triad and central vein, but here it is the accumulation of the type 1 and type 3 in the space of DC leads to fibrosis. This is the main pathology of the liver. So some of the MCQ questions will be in the future NEET examination. They will ask about the micronodal lesions seen in Indian childhood cirrhosis and hemochromatosis, that is the accumulation of the iron overload, and macronodular lesion seen in the alcoholic cirrhosis and Wilson disease. So that's about the cirrhosis of the liver. So this is my reference. Thanks to those reference. So now we'll study about the top 3 questions. So here I am giving some of the MCQ questions for the NEET examination. So if you are able to answer this question, that indicates that you have studied well. So question number 1. The fatty liver is due to accumulation of the LDL, VDL, cholesterol or triglyceride. So which this fat leads to the accumulation leads to the, we are calling as a fatty liver. Very important MCQ is for the future exam. And the next one, the gold standard diagnostic investigation of the liver, which is the very gold standard diagnostic investigation. Number 1 is the liver biopsy, number 2 is the radiology, number 3 is the liver function test, and 4th is the none. So question number 3 is a very important physiology questions. Liver can regenerate. The answer is true or false. So post your answer into the YouTube comment box. It's very important. So this MCQ is very important for future NEET examinations. So that's the end of my class, cirrhosis of the liver. So thanks for watching. So always I note this word, knowledge is our power. So study well. So thank you one and all.